The Haunting of Green Plaid Manor. It was a house that stood at the edge of town, shrouded in darkness and mystery, its very presence evoking a sense of foreboding that sent chills down the spines of those who dared to cast their gaze upon it. Green Plaid Manor, they called it, a name whispered in hushed tones among the townsfolk, each syllable laden with tales of the supernatural and the inexplicable. It stood as a relic from another era, a testament to a time long past, with its Victorian architecture looming over the overgrown garden like a silent sentinel, its weathered facade bearing witness to the passage of centuries. Little did the unsuspecting family of four know, as they eagerly crossed the threshold of this seemingly picturesque abode, that they were stepping into the heart of darkness, where nightmares would soon become their reality, and the very walls would echo with the anguished cries of the tormented souls that dwelled within. Sandy and Alex believed they had discovered the ideal home for their family, their hearts filled with hope and excitement as they envisioned a future filled with happiness and tranquility within its walls. With its sprawling rooms and lush garden, meticulously manicured yet untouched by human hands, it appeared to be a dream come true, a haven where they could create lasting memories and watch their children grow. However, from the moment they set foot inside, an ominous chill seemed to permeate their bones, a chilling premonition that whispered of secrets long buried and a darkness lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to be unleashed. The first sign of something amiss came when Sandy caught a glimpse of a figure in the mirror as she unpacked boxes in the master bedroom. A man in a green plaid shirt, his face twisted into a grotesque sneer, staring back at her with eyes that seemed to pierce through her very soul. She blinked, and he was gone. Shaken but dismissing it as her imagination, Sandy tried to push the encounter from her mind, convincing herself that the stress of the move was playing tricks on her senses. She attempted to focus on the comforting familiarity of unpacking boxes and arranging furniture, hoping to distract herself from the unease that lingered like a shadow. Yet, as night descended and they settled into their new abode, the true horror began to unfold, slowly unraveling like a sinister tapestry woven with threads of darkness and despair, each thread pulling them deeper into a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. Terrified, Alex reached for the lamp beside him, his fingers trembling as he fumbled with the switch, a desperate attempt to banish the encroaching darkness that seemed to swallow him whole. The room remained shrouded in blackness for a moment that felt like an eternity, the silence broken only by the erratic rhythm of his pounding heart, until finally, the soft glow of the lamp pierced the gloom, casting long shadows that danced across the walls like specters in the night. But before he could draw a breath of relief, the figure vanished into thin air, leaving him trembling in the darkness, his mind racing with questions and fears that threatened to consume him whole. As days turned into weeks, the sightings grew more frequent and sinister, casting a pall of fear and uncertainty over the once hopeful household, as if the very walls themselves were conspiring to imprison them in a nightmare of their own making. The twins, James and John, began to complain of nightmares, of a man in a green plaid shirt lurking in the shadows, whispering words of dread into their ears as they slept, their innocent dreams tainted by the malevolent presence that seemed to haunt every corner of their home. Desperate for answers, Sandy and Alex delved into the history of Green Plaid Manor, hoping to uncover the secrets that lay buried within its walls. What they discovered chilled them to the core. Long ago, the house had been home to a reclusive artist named Thomas Grady. Known for his eccentricities and his obsession with his work, he had lived a solitary existence until one fateful night when he disappeared without a trace. Rumors swirled of his descent into madness, of strange rituals conducted within the confines of Green Plaid Manor. And as Sandy and Alex pieced together the fragments of the past, they realized the truth. Thomas Grady had never left. His spirit lingered, trapped within the confines of the house, consumed by rage and longing for release. Determined to break the curse that held them captive, Sandy and Alex sought out the help of a local medium, their hearts heavy with apprehension, yet fueled by a glimmer of hope that perhaps, with the aid of spiritual intervention, they could rid themselves of the malevolent presence that had taken root within Plaid Manor. After days of research and soul-searching, they finally found a medium rumored to possess a gift for communing with the otherworldly, and together they conducted a seance, their trembling hands clasped tightly together as they reached out into the darkness. At first, there was nothing but silence, the air thick with anticipation, each breath heavy with the weight of their collective apprehension as they waited with bated breath for any sign of the supernatural presence they had come to confront. Minutes stretched into what felt like an eternity, the tension palpable in the dimly lit room, as if the very atmosphere itself held its breath in anticipation of what was to come. Then, as if in response to their plea, a voice echoed through the room, cold and hollow, its spectral timbre sending shivers down their spines and freezing the very marrow in their bones as they grappled with the realization that they were no longer alone in the darkness.
"I cannot leave,"
it whispered, a mournful wail that sent shivers down their spines, the sound echoing hauntingly in the dimly lit room. The plaintive tone carried with it centuries of sorrow, each syllable laden with the weight of an eternity spent in captivity.
"This is my home,"
it continued, the words dripping with resignation and despair, as if the very walls themselves had absorbed the lamentations of a tormented soul.
"My prison,"
it reiterated, the repetition emphasizing the depth of its anguish, the realization of an existence confined to the confines of Plaid Manor, sinking in like a heavy chain.
"I will never be free,"
it concluded, the finality of the statement hanging in the air like a lingering specter, a grim reminder of the enduring torment that plagued the restless spirit. But Sandy refused to relinquish hope, her determination unwavering as she stood before the spectral presence, her voice trembling yet resolute as she implored the spirit to let go of its anger, to find solace and tranquility in the afterlife, her heartfelt plea echoing through the room like a beacon of light in the midst of darkness. Slowly, miraculously, the air began to shift, the oppressive atmosphere lifting as if a weight had been lifted from their shoulders, and a sense of calm descended upon the room, enveloping them in a comforting embrace that spoke of redemption and renewal. As the sun rose on a new day, Sandy and Alex watched in awe as the ghost of Thomas Grady faded into the ether, leaving behind nothing but a sense of calm in its wake. The once foreboding atmosphere of Plaid Manor now felt lighter, as if the very walls had exhaled a sigh of relief. Birds chirped cheerfully outside the window, their melodies a stark contrast to the eerie silence that had once pervaded the house. Sandy couldn't help but notice the way the sunlight danced through the stained glass windows, casting colorful patterns on the worn floorboards, a symbol of hope and renewal. Alex reached out to squeeze her hand, a silent acknowledgement of the trials they had endured together. With a newfound sense of optimism, they began to unpack the remaining boxes, eager to transform their new home into a sanctuary filled with love and laughter.
Congratulations! You've completed the lesson.
Keep watching, listening, and practicing. Your hard work will pay off.